Hello everyone, Ceia here. Today's today. We are introducing V6 Florence in Gunsmoke, as usual. So, the composition I'll be showcasing today will be quite specific to the boss named Chaos. Because it's Hydro Fire. Hydro Fire is not really a thing against Berserker, but it's kind of a thing against Chaos. And if you guys get the boss that's even further than Chaos as of this recording, then bad luck for you. I don't know whether Hydro Fire would work there. Anyway, so this composition pretty much uses Qiongjiu as my cleansing and cleansing source, as well as support attack. So the reason why I'm not running Nikita here is that Springfield would have too many targets to buff, because Springfield is really targeting Tololo to buff and Florence's bear to buff. So if you bring 3 Hydro DPSs, you won't be able to spread the love around, you know? So yeah, that's why I brought I'm gonna bring Florence V6 instead of Nikita V6, and it's to also see how well Florence V6 perform when compared to Nikita V6. So yes. Anyway, this Tololo over here is almost maxed. March 6 max, almost max, almost max, almost max. So yeah, that's saying. Don't worry, no flashbang for you guys today. But for me, does get her iPads, so it's okay. Anyway, back to the run. I'll be using this buff. It's a little bit of a cheat for Florence, but it's okay. Basically, what this does is that all summon entities on our side will deal an additional 50% damage. So yeah, she's getting a little bit of some help here, but I guess you can just take her overall DPS at minus 50% or something, right? Right. So the setup of this team will be slightly different when compared to the traditional Hydro Fire team, because Florence needs to be in front instead, because of her bear. Because if you put her at the back, the bear will wander to the front anyway, so there's no point of keeping her at the back. So yeah, standard opening, Qiongjiu out, Springfield out into buff Tololo. Then I'm gonna set the world on fire so that Qiongjiu will get a bit of help. Florence will stand here and she will buff Tololo. So since past Dupe 3, right, the buff for Florence will last for 2 rounds instead of 1. So she can buff 2 units at once, one being Tololo herself, and sorry, for Tololo, or the other one is to Springfield. So she'll buff these 2. The bear doesn't need to be buffed, because when at Dupe 5, Florence's skill 2 will be automatically buffed to the bear. Yes, so that's about it. As for Springfield's skill 2, the second target will be the bear, because the bear does a lot of damage. Watch. Even though it's getting a little bit of help with that 50% more damage, but you'll see. That's not a good example, because it's the enemy is shielded and there's no Springfield buff on it. But watch. So Springfield will buff the bear. Florence will buff Springfield. Oh, by the way, if you mismanage your bear, the bear will disappear and you lose all the buffs on it. But if you re-summon the bear with Florence's ultimate, the buffs on it will not disappear. So keep that in mind when you're micromanaging the bear. So turn 3, Tololo's Springfield skill 2 would have been got. So buff. This turn, Florence has 0 Confectus Index, so she has the ultimate. So ultimate. And as you can see, the bear is resummoned without losing any buffs, so that's fantastic. But this means that Tololo will have some downtime on the Florence buff, but that's okay. There's another method whereby you forego the Springfield buff and just keep buffing Tololo. That can work. You know what? Why not we do that instead? From the next why don't we just do that instead? Right now. So so on the start of at turn 2, we do not buff Springfield, we buff Tololo. This way she has 100% uptime of this buff. Because Springfield doesn't do much damage anyway, right? Because of her being dupe 3 here. So unless she's dupe 6, maybe then I'll consider that, but probably not. This way, Tololo has 100% uptime, because this turn Florence has forced the ultimate, and Tololo still has the buff. So yeah, that makes more sense to me. Turn 3, Tololo doesn't have the buff anymore from Springfield, so refresh. Florence at 0 Confectus Index, refresh. Turn 4, Qiongjiu, refresh, Springfield, ultimate. And since the bear loses 1 stack of Springfield's buff per turn, he can last all the way the whole run, so you don't have to refresh the buff on the bear at all, so you just need to keep an eye on Tololo. So Tololo still has 3 stacks, so she's fine. I can use skill 1 or Springfield this turn. Then from this turn, since I have Confected Index, I can just rebuff Tololo. It's 200k. Yeah, that's quite normal for Tololo, but not my Tololo. She's getting quite a bit more damage because she's getting the Florence buff. That's nice to have, really. Okay, so turn 5, I believe Tololo is out of Springfield buff. Yes, she is. So buff Tololo, buff her. Springfield, not Springfield, Qiongjiu ultimate. Whose Confected Index left? I still can buff Tololo again. Now that I think about it, the counter attack from the bear is actually not too bad. In stability gauge shredding, not too bad at all. Oh, maybe Florence and Nikita could be interchangeable. But let's see her damage at the end though. It'll actually determine whether those two are close in V6 power. Because if I were to choose, right, between Nikita and Florence, I'll definitely choose Florence as a V6 instead of Nikita. Because Nikita is a single target specialist, whereby Florence also have crowd control. Yes, you heard me. Crowd control, it's a thing again, because, well, let's just say that the more difficult content, they kind of want some crowd control, because you'd be, if you're like me and you set the settings up to maximum, you're gonna be chased around with 80% less targeted damage and AoE damage. 200%? No, 400% more HP on enemies. The enemies will recover. Oh, you need to refresh Forrest's ultimate here. She's at 0. And yeah, you'll be chased around by tanky enemies that do not die. And yeah. If you get chased around like that, you kind of want some crowd control to keep the mobs under control, else it's not easy. To you know, play the map. And Florence's kit has both a taunt as well as infatuate. So there's 2 crowd controls in the kit already. So that's my line of thought for Florence V6 versus Nikita V6. But of course it really depends on the damage in the end as a deal breaker. Maybe. So last turn, standard rotation, out, out. If I'm not wrong, Tololo's out. Yep, she's out. Buff. And she has it. Buff. But Florence also have the same kind of issue as Nikita. Is that, oh, that's 100k on the bear. That's nice. Is that most of her damage is gonna be front loaded into trying to break stability because of the bosses having this mechanic whereby if the stability is still on the boss, then your units will do less damage, right? So with that in mind, the bear is not doing its maximum damage right now because of the how stability works in Gunsmoke. This might be a kill. That's a kill. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Nikita has more damage potential, I think. Okay. Yeah, my Tololo is a freaking truck right now. And well, I guess it's a little bit lower than the Nikita, maybe. Because the other Nikita that I usually showcase, it's V6R6, but this is only V6R1. And from what I saw in the remoting pattern for this Florence, it's not 100% there yet. So yes, by the way, there's Platoon chat now. Yep, you can go to your Platoon chat and check out other people's stats now. Look at this labor. Oh. That's another super labor. Yeah. It kind of looks like this. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Florence is kind of down there. This is the V0 Nikita, I'm very sure. So this is a V0 Nikita. Yeah, V6 Florence is somewhere in between Tololo and it's probably lower than Tololo. And maybe lower than Nikita, but it depends on your investment in Nikita and stuff. Because of yeah, it really depends. It's up to you. I mean, play the game like ask your dick whether you like this character. I'm sure a lot of you would say yes, and if you want a V6 her, she is viable. I'm just saying. But if you want pure damage, single target damage, Nikita is here. So Nikita will be above Florence in terms of single target damage potential, but Florence would definitely have a better future with inbuilt crowd control and her decent damage, really. Because this Tololo on Snow's team and my Tololo on my team are pretty much maxed. V6R6 with maxed equipment. So you can't compare it to this because this Florence is V6R1 as well as the equipment not being maxed. So okay, so I hope you guys get some insight on how you want to pull how you want to deal with the Hydro team. Keep in mind that Springfield needs a maximum of Dupe 2 to handle, or rather she needs Dupe 2 to handle 2 DPS at a time. If she's a Dupe 1, her rotation does not support 2 DPS at a time for her buffing. And her damage looks like this if she's not Dupe 6. If she's Dupe 6, she'll be probably somewhere around here with Qiongjiu. So keep that in mind. Anyway, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next character. whoever it will be. Just a note, I've seen some files in game that could hint that it may be AA12 next because of certain things inside the files. Take this information as you will. I'm not saying she'll be next, but there's a chance. Alright, that's your tidbit of the video. Have a good one, guys.